Hey everybody, this is Mr. Storm, and in this video we're going to go over the calculator assignment. I'm going to walk you through it step by step. Now, this assignment asks us to do three things. One, we have to use variables to write, solve, and display solutions for 5 different math problems using different operators. Then we have to add 2 strings together to create a concatenated string. And then we also want to create a function that will display a miles to kilometers calculator using that function. So I'm going to go over here to Replit and we're going to get started. I'm going to create a new Replit. I'm going to make it an HTML, CSS, and JavaScript, and I'm going to call it calculator. Okay, let's create our new REPL. I'm going to move my face down here so it's out of the way. Beautiful. Now we got to clean up this stuff a little bit. We can get rid of the script.js file because we don't need it. We can get rid of the style.css file because we don't need it. We can get rid of the reference to the JS file and the CSS file. Let's give our page a new title. All right, beautiful, beautiful, beautiful. Okay, now what we're going to do is we're going to display. First, let's handle the displaying the 5 variables, the 5 math operations. So what we're going to want is 5 different paragraph elements that have IDs attached to them. We'll call them, and it doesn't really matter what's in there to begin with. We don't even need to have anything in there to begin with, because we're going to replace them as soon as the page loads. So I will copy, and I will change these: math 2, math 3, math 4, math 5. All right, now I want to create a script open and close tag, because this is where all of our JavaScript is going to go. All right, so the first thing I want to do is I'm going to create a new var, and I'm going to call it add, and I'm going to set it equal to, I don't know, let's say 5 plus, oh, I hit control plus. That's fine. We can be a little bit zoomed in. Let me get rid of this. 5 plus 64. Nope, that makes a number I don't want. Nope, 68. How about that? 5 plus 68. Alrighty, and let's see. So we've got an add. Let's do sub, and we'll do 879 minus 12. Var. Let's do a divide. Div equals 8,007. Oh, I did 879 again. 45 divided by 2. And then we'll do, let's do a multiplication. 5 times 98. And then let's do, what do I want to do now? Let's do that exponential. X equals 5 and see what that does. Okay, so now I have my 5 math operations in here, but they're not going to show up on my page. Watch, I can run this. Nothing's going to happen because I haven't actually, I have a paragraph element with, or I have a bunch of paragraph elements with nothing inside of them. What I need to do is I need to document dot get element by ID math 1 dot inner HTML equals, we'll say add. Now, if I've done that correctly, whenever I run this, it will replace whatever's in math 1 with whatever's in my add variable. And it did. So 5 plus 68 is 73. Well, that works. Okay. So let's go ahead and copy this. Five times. Let's replace the values here. Okay, and we want this one to be sub. We want this one to be divide. Oh. We want this one to be mult. Oh, it's just a little bit too long. There we go. And we want this one to be exp. Now let's run it. Ooh, look at that. That's fantastic. So we have, 5 plus 68 is 73. 879 minus 12 is 867. This number, 87,945 divided by 2 is 43,972.5. We have 5 times 98 is 490, and then 5 with an exponent to the exponent. 5 to the 10 exponent becomes this. What is that? 9,765,625. Cool. So we did some math operations. So in about 5 minutes, we did the first thing on our page. Beautiful. Next, we need to add two strings together to create a concatenated string. So let's add another paragraph element to our page, and we'll give it ID of concat P. And then down here, let's say, let's create a new variable. Call it con, and we will say my name is, and then here we'll create a new var called name David, and then let's do a document dot get element by ID. And we're going to get the concat element dot inner HTML is going to equal con plus, let's squeeze this over just a little bit, con plus, and I want to say I need a space in there, right? Because if I do these two together, notice there's no space here and there's no space there, so it's going to squish those two together, which I don't want. Plus name. Okay, let's see if that works. Hey, look, my name is David, and that works. Perfect. So we've created a concatenated string, and we've put it onto our website. Beautiful. So that's the first two things down. Next, we have to create and display a miles to kilometers calculator using a function. Well, first, miles to km, I want the formula. So multiply the length value, I just got a text message, by 1.609. So multiply miles by 1.609. Okay, well, let's do that. Let's create a new function. Actually, let's create a paragraph element up here. ID will be equal to calc. I don't know why I created a capital P. Anyway, and then down here we're going to create an actual function, and we will call it M2K for miles to kilometers. There we go. In there, we're going to bring in miles as an argument. And then inside, we are going to return miles times, what was the number? 1.609. 1.609. So now we've created a function called mtk, but we haven't actually done anything with it yet. What we need to do is we need to actually call the function. And I'm going to create a new variable that will store our kilo, our kilometers, equals mtk. And let's pass in 897 miles. And then I'm going to do a document.getElement by ID. And the ID is going to be, what was my ID up here? Calc. Dot inner HTML equals kilo for my kilometers. We can also skip this step of creating a variable called kilo and just do it this way. Let's do it this way. mtk equals 897. And then get rid of this variable altogether. It'll save us a little bit. Okay, let's run it and see what happens. Okay, there we go. So 897 miles is 1,443 kilometers. Beautiful. That's the whole assignment right there. That's the whole thing. Now, as you can see, there's a lot of stuff here. You know, the function itself is important, super important that you understand how this works. We're going to pass in miles, which is going to be this 879, and then we're going to do 879 times 1.609 to get our actual calculator, our actual result in kilometers. If you understand everything that we're doing here, I know I rushed through it kind of quickly. If you understand all of this, then you're going to be in great shape. If you don't, please, please, please review those articles in W3 Schools. Send me an email, ask me a question, and I will be more than happy to help you. Now, the nice thing about turning in this assignment today, maybe not so nice, is that we only need the index.html. So when you download as a zip folder, you don't want to turn in the zip. You want to extract the index.html out of the zip folder and then turn in the HTML file. That's how you're going to turn this in, because there are no other files in here that we need, so we can just turn in the HTML file itself. Okay, that is it for me. Make sure all your JavaScript goes in between the script tags here. If it's outside of the script tags, it's not going to work very well. It's also a good idea to probably add some comments into your program just to remind yourself what you're doing. So add some comments throughout to remind yourself what each section is doing. And comments in JavaScript are easy. They're just // and then you type out whatever you want to type. Okay, that's it for me. Have fun doing this assignment, and I will see you next time. Peace.